transform New Yorkers' day-to-day lives. That remains my defining goal in the fall, to deliver our affordability agenda for those who have too long been forgotten by our politics, to make a dignified life a reality for each and every person who calls the city their home. But that is that many have long felt abandoned by. New Yorkers often associate government with an irrelevance to their day-to-day struggles, associated with possibility only of meager results, small ideas, even smaller follow-through, agendas that are quicker to say no rather than eager to get to yes. I want to write a different story from our City Hall, a story of ambition, of reinvention, where working people know that they have fierce champions at every level of government and know that they can turn to those fortunate enough to serve them. Few agencies hold transformative power more than DCWP and are more ready to be supercharged to actually work for New Yorkers and address their concerns. There's not a single New Yorker, frankly, whose life is untouched by DCWP. Whether you are a consumer, a small business owner, an employee, the DCWP has the ability and remit to stand up for your rights and to fight predatory practices across the 5 boroughs. I want the next commissioner of this great agency to approach their role with a track record of achievement and an agenda of imagination, someone unafraid to take on entrenched interests. And Sam Levine, that's exactly the kind of leadership New Yorkers will get. Sam's pedigree is undeniable. From 2021 until this January, he served as the director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protections, leading many of these same efforts on a national scale. What he achieved is not only remarkable, it has made measurable differences in the lives of millions of Americans. We pay less in junk fees, avoid deceitful subscription traps, trust that our data has been safeguarded, are exposed to far less illegal telemarketing thanks to Sam's work. Before leading the Bureau of Consumer Protections, Sam advised FTC Commissioner Rohit Chopra and worked for the Illinois Attorney General, ensuring that those who were often forgotten not only had someone who would protect them, but also championing their struggles. Proud to be standing here appointing Sam to this role because of his experience leading work that restores people's trust in government, not because it is something of only a day-to-day importance, but frankly because this is part of the long-term objectives and goals of our government and what government should aspire to everywhere. Sam will work alongside our Deputy Mayor for Economic Justice, Julie Su, to protect New York City's 80,000 baristas who are as New York City as it gets. He will enforce the laws we have on the books now for consumers and workers alike. He will make DCWP a force to be reckoned with, one that refuses to allow corporations to treat their as expendable. When he succeeds, that success will be felt in a city that is vibrant, flourishing small businesses, in markets full of people who can afford to buy gifts and goods for themselves and their loved ones, in workers who know that their leaders, in fact, have their backs, and in an economy that is fairer and more accessible for all.
Thank you, Mayor-elect, for the opportunity to serve as your next commissioner of the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. I'm a relatively new New Yorker, but my family has deep roots here. My grandmother, Eleanor Levy, grew up on the Lower East Side, just a few blocks from where I live today. She was a teacher here in the city, and it's a great honor to carry on that tradition of public service. I believe that the law is a tool for justice. It's not a static text, but a living and breathing instrument that has the power to transform the lives of working people. This belief has driven my work across these last 2 decades, from spearheading efforts to challenge illegal foreclosures when I was in law school, to taking on predatory for-profit schools as an assistant attorney general, returning millions of dollars to defrauded students. I believe the law is how we hold bad actors accountable. This is the work I was so proud to lead as director of the Bureau of Consumer Protection at the Federal Trade Commission. In that role, I took on Grubhub for exploiting delivery drivers and restaurants, Care.com for misleading home health care workers, Amazon and its top executives for trapping people in subscriptions they didn't want. Meta and TikTok for stealing our data and putting our children at risk. And I fought to close loopholes that let scammers and predatory lenders prey on small businesses with impunity. I believe that city government cannot be a passive bystander as corporations scheme to exploit working New Yorkers. I believe we must be relentless, diligent, and innovative in how we defend the people who built the city and call it home. The need for strong leadership at the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection is at an all-time high. Millions of New Yorkers are being crushed by the cost of living crisis. The 80,000 deliveristas who weave about Manhattan and Brooklyn delivering food and medicine. The thousands of working-class taxi drivers who take us to the airport and to our friends' homes. Tenants struggling with junk fees on top of sky-high rent. The bodegas who line our street corners, bodegas we start and end our days at. These working-class New Yorkers are the very heart of this city. There is simply no New York without them. And it is time they have a city government that has their back. As Commissioner for the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, I'll make sure that every gig worker, small business owner, independent contractor, and consumer knows their rights and knows with confidence that they have a champion in the city government. Gone are the days when companies like Instacart and DoorDash can bully their way into record profits on the backs of workers and consumers. Gone are the days when laws like just cause protections are allowed to be overlooked or forgotten. Gone are the days when we let key economic justice tools collect dust instead of using them to advance fairness for working people. I want to thank two of my colleagues and role models who have demonstrated that the world we dream of is within reach. Lena Khan, who served as chair of the FTC, now as co-chair of the transition team, and Rohit Chopra, who I served at the FTC and most recently led the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I also want to say, to the community organizations who have been leading this work long before me, I am so looking forward to hearing from you about your fight and to joining it alongside you. To Workers United, Workers Justice Project, Street Vendor Project, National Domestic Workers Alliance, Bronx Works, and the deliveristas who power this city, thank you to all you have done for keeping the dream of New York City alive. To our union partners like UAW, 32BJ, and HTC, you have set standards for entire industries through collective bargaining, new organizing, and innovative policy and legislation. All New Yorkers benefit from your efforts, and I'm looking forward to this continued partnership. To Julie Su, the incoming deputy mayor for economic justice, I have so much faith in your ability to keep the spotlight on working people bright, and I'm ready to serve alongside you. Lastly, I want to thank the people of New York for putting their. I look forward to getting to work. Thanks very much.